high. How I wish such a young buck as I would be able to obtain a heart ever so sweet, such as a woman such as her.
Dude, you're like 30, just talk to her like an adult.
Ooh, but I simply cannot. I'm so nervous. Please, you gotta help me, kid. You gotta give me some of that youthful magic, please.
All right. This is a squip.
You got quick?
Not quick, squip.
I just never heard of it before.
Of course you haven't. This is some top secret, can't even look it up on the internet kind of stuff.
Huh. So what does it do?
It is a quantum nanotechnology CPU that travels into your brain and tells you what to do.
Oh, so it's like drugs.
No. It's not like drugs. Now, do you want this pill to change your psychological functions or not?
Sure. Here's $500.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, here you go.
Thank you. Thumbs up. Woo! Well, I don't really feel... Whoa! Oh, that was a crazy dream where I was some sort of dork that couldn't talk to girls.
That was no dream.
Who said that?
I am your super quantum unit intel processor. Your squip.
Wow! You look just like my friend Vinny.
Yeah, your squip is personified by the individual whom you admire the most. I do find it odd that your most admired individual is a friend who doesn't seem to like you very much.
Yeah, Vinny is basically like my best friend.
You know what? Not important. So, you want to go after this girl?
Hold that thought. This very situation reminds me of a story called Be More Chill.
Okay, I'm sensing you want to go into a video essay of sorts. And if you want to appear desirable to broader society, I'm advising you not.
Be More Chill is a story about young love, insecurity, and a cautionary tale about technology. This young adult novel was written by Ned Vizzini and published in June 2004. It's been adapted into a graphic novel, a Broadway musical, and is currently in development as a film under 20th Century Studios. This book was definitely a blast from the past for me, as I originally read this in middle school from 2006 to 2007. As a socially awkward kid in the early 2000s, this was a book that really spoke to me, and I think Ned Vizzini's personal experience contributed a lot to this story. Vizzini started writing when he was only 15 years old, and some of his essays were even published in the New York Press and the New York Times Magazine. At the age of 19, he compiled those essays into a semi-autobiographical book called Teen Angst? Nah, a quasi-autobiography. These essays dove into topics he was familiar with as a young man growing up in Brooklyn, such as playing Nintendo, trying to buy beer, and Hooters. The restaurant, I should clarify, not the other kind of Hooters, though as a teenager, I'm sure he thought about those too. From this collection of essays, he was able to secure a 2-book contract. One of those books was It's Kind of a Funny Story, which was later turned into a film with Zach Galifianakis. And the other was Be More Chill, which came from an idea he thought up of in college. This novel follows Jeremy Here, a high school student from New Jersey who has a crush on his classmate, Christine Canigula, but struggles to talk to girls and is considered sort of a loser among his peers. His best friend Michael tells him about a supercomputer in the form of a pill called a super quantum unit intel processor, or squip for short, and ingest it to allow the device to implant into his brain. When the squip is all set up, in the form of a voiceover by Keanu Reeves, it immediately starts telling him how to act, what to say, how to dress, and who to talk to. As a quiet kid in middle school, this whole concept was super exciting because in my immature view of the world, there is a right way to act and a wrong way to act. The idea of a computer calculating all those outcomes and determining which one would be the most ideal made a ton of sense to me. There's no such thing as nuance or personal takes. The world is divided into good actions and bad actions, and those actions feed into your status in society. Or at least middle school. Spoilers from here on out, so if you want to check out the book at your local library, I encourage you to do so. The characters are all pretty dynamic for a young adult book. For example, Michael Mell, Jeremy's best friend, casually introduces the squip as a script, which is the inciting incident that sets the story in motion. The reader assumes that this was an unintentional slip on Michael's end, but because it presents Michael as a social outcast through Jeremy's eyes, it makes him just as socially unaware as Jeremy. But in reality, Michael purposely misrepresented the squip in order to downplay its abilities to dissuade Jeremy from getting one, because it lands his cousin in the hospital due to internal pressure. Christine Canigula is another one of my favorite characters because she's not quite popular or a loser, which doesn't fit into our narrator's, Jeremy, worldview, and may be the reason Jeremy is so attracted to her in the first place. She also perplexes the squip. During the first few squip-equipped interactions between Jeremy and Christine, the squip doesn't give the correct advice to Jeremy and calculates their conversation had a negative outcome. This is really convenient for a person to view the world in black and white, good and bad, popular and unpopular, but that's not real life. That concept was hard for me to grasp as a kid, entering a new middle school environment, especially one separated from my former friends. This was also one of my first introductions to an unreliable narrator. Jeremy here isn't exactly the victim that he presents himself to be. You can see he's primarily driven by sex and status throughout the book, and his parents and friend fall by the wayside. The script doesn't turn him into this kind of person we see steal Beanie Babies from his aunt to sell online. Rather, the script just puts those selfish desires at the forefront of his personality. Yet, despite this, the reader still wants to root for Jeremy when his peers are constantly trying to put him down pre-squip. Of course, the script isn't foolproof, with alcohol inebriating it, and sometimes it's a little too cold and calculated when it comes to accounting for human emotions. In the book, the script really wants Jeremy to drop Michael as a friend, and at first he does, in order to gain favor with some of the more popular girls. Eventually, Jeremy, not wanting to leave his friend behind, invites Michael to a big party, which is a nice development to see Jeremy push back against the preconceived methods of popularity the script had programmed into it. Ned Vizzini struggled with depression and anxiety a lot of his life, and that shows in his work. At the beginning of the book, Jeremy is near crippled by anxiety, with his over-analytical thoughts preventing him from interacting with most of his classmates. He even has something called a humiliation sheet, where he tallies every time a person has degraded him, or at least he feels like they have. The recreational activity he engages in do not seem to bring him joy, and he's also easily irritable, which are both symptoms of depression. On a personal note, I think that even though I couldn't articulate it at the time, I shared a lot of similar traits to Jeremy in middle school. Not being able to fit in really isolated me, and caused me to constantly question what I was doing wrong. I've learned to live with these intrusive thoughts nowadays, but I do relate to a lot of younger kids who are currently having these feelings. As much as I love the musical, I think these small nuances that I initially related to in the book got lost in translation in favor of a more digestible story on stage. Oh, I haven't even delved into the musical yet. It really makes me want to sing!
I'm going to stop you right there and say that 95% of your audience is going to click off this video if you shoehorn in a musical number.
Well, right. Yeah, you're no fun. In 2011, as part of a new play development program at the Two River Theater, Joe Iconis and Joe Trace reached out to Ned Vizzini to adapt his book into a musical. Vizzini never saw Be More Chill's story as a musical, but was excited and intrigued by the idea. Unfortunately, Ned Vizzini passed away before the first draft was finished after losing his battle to depression. The only part missing from this first draft was the final song. Iconis and Trace decided to make that last song reflective and a little bit more human as a tribute to Vizzini.
And there are voices in my ear, I guess these never disappear. I'll let them squeal and I will deal, then make up my own mind. My I'd still have voices in my head, but now they're just the normal kind. Voices in my head, but now they're the normal kind.
The play premiered in 2015 at the Two River Theater, and it ran for about a month. Originally, the out-of-town tryouts, which are stage productions that evaluate whether or not the show will be profitable in New York, had some mixed reviews, and thus the production wasn't going to move forward. However, the original Two River Theater Productions album started to gain some traction online, even placing in Billboard's top 15 cast albums starting in July 2017, and even placing at number 7 for the weeks of September 30th and October 7th, 2017. Quick tangent, I read on Wikipedia that it placed in the top 10 for July 2017 in the Billboard's top cast albums, so I went to Billboard's website to confirm this, but they put these cast album charts behind a $13 a month paywall. Thankfully, my 2011 MacBook was slow AF, so I could take a quick peek at the top 15 before the website puts up the paywall for that page. So I had to refresh, scroll down, scan the page in a matter of a few seconds. The New York Times also does this where they have to have a subscription to access their article, and it drives me crazy. I just want information. I don't want to pay for facts. Anyways, I figured out it didn't crack the top 10 till at least September 6, 2017. Jeez Louise. Where was I? Anywho, with its newfound popularity, the musical got an off-Broadway production with most of the original cast, and they started doing previews in July 2018, and ending that run in September 2018 because it was announced they were moving to Broadway! Congratulations, kid! You made it in the Big Apple! Be More Chill began previews in February 2019 and officially opened in March 2019 with all of the off-Broadway cast reprising their roles. It ultimately closed on August 11th, 2019, and I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if that's good or bad for a Broadway show, but I've heard of shows closing in like a month, so I think 30 previews and 177 performances ain't bad. The musical itself was delightful, but as with every book adaptation, a lot of the small details were lost in translation or streamlined in order to fit the 2.5-hour play. Some of Jeremy's classmates were consolidated into more prominent characters, and the Squip is a little more of an antagonist in this version. However, with fewer characters, the musical gives the supporting cast a little more depth. Some of my personal favorite tweaks are making Jeremy's best friend, Michael, played by George Salazar from Superstore, more of an anxious loner, and Jeremy's love interest, Christine, played by Stephanie Hsu from Everything Everywhere All at Once, more of a theater kid. I think my favorite song is the tribute to Ned Vizzini, which is the final number called Voices in My Head. Though I'd be remiss if I didn't mention George Salazar's anxiety-ridden ballad, Michael in the Bathroom. I prefer Michael more in this one number than Evan Hansen in his whole dang musical. Yeah, I said it. I'll break Evan Hansen's other arm. I don't give a heck. I think the legacy of Be More Chill is incredible. From the book's initial release in 2004, to its musical release in 2015, to the future of the inevitable Be More Chill film. I think that it's amazing that this story brings the high school social ecosystem and all the anxieties that come with it to a young adult audience who might not see themselves represented in most media. I think Ned Vizzini would be proud of what it's become. Whoa! Whoa! What's happening?
I'm doing this for your own good. You're going to that park and talking to that girl now.
Okay, Squip. What do I do next? What do I do?
Are you good?
Sorry, I was talking to the supercomputer in my head.
Okay. So, you didn't buy any vitamins off that kid, did you?
Ugh! I knew Squips weren't real.
Yeah. Oh wait, Squips, like from Be More Chill or whatever?
Yes, exactly.
I love the musical. It's a really great.
Yeah. I'm Gage, by the way.
Oh, hi. I'm Terry. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah. Totally. And it turns out the supercomputer you was just a figment of my imagination.
Right. Have you considered seeing a specialist about this?
No, not really. Anyways, things didn't work out with Terry, but I'm glad I chatted with her.
Yeah. Good for you, buddy. I'm glad to see you're finally maturing into a better person.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this.
Come on.
Thanks to my patrons, Reynold H, Super Swim Team 7, Megeara, John Agnew, Fieser, Elly Rock, and a Nurchin.
Yeah, I'm sure you appreciate their support and all, but...
I sure do. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Please don't rope me into this, alright? Why? Why do I even try?